In this video, we're going to talk about wholesaling short sales coming up. What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Welcome to another video. Listen, in today's video, I'm going to cover a question that I got from one of my YouTube subscribers by the name of Jay Snipes. And here's the question. It says, have you ever wholesaled short sales? If so, do you have a video or can you do a video? Do you have advice for them? First off, I want to thank you, Jay Snipes, for asking such a great question. This is a topic that I haven't covered on my channel, and I thought it would be fitting for me to do a video on this particular topic because this is something I'm very savvy with myself. Now, although I'm not a huge fan of short sales personally, I have other ways, other means of getting deals done besides doing short sales. I have done a lot of short sales in the past. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that wholesaling short sales doesn't work, but I will say that there is a gray area when it comes to wholesaling short sales that you need to be careful of. And I don't hear enough people online talking about it. So what exactly is a short sale? Well, a short sale occurs when the net proceeds from a property fall short of the underlying debt that the lien holder has on the property. So for example, if a homeowner owed $120,000 on a property, and after running comparable sales, we see that a property is only worth $100,000. Typically, if the homeowner tried to sell that property, they're going to fall short of what's actually owed on the property unless they come out of their pocket with the difference of what needs to be brought to the table on a property. Most of the time, homeowners are going to do what's called a short sale in order to make this sale work. And an investor can help a homeowner, or a real estate agent can help a homeowner during a short sale process in order to get the homeowner out of this situation. So again, just to recap that, a short sale is when the net proceeds from the sale of a property will fall short of the debt that the lien holder has on the property. Basically, the property can be upside down, over leveraged. That's an example of a short sale. Now, the question is, can you wholesale short sales? And the simple answer is yes and no. What do I mean by that? Well, you can technically wholesale short sales, and I'm going to explain 3 different ways on how you can do it today. Back in 2014, the government deemed wholesaling short sales illegal by placing deed restrictions on properties. So unless you have a property, or unless you deal with a lender who doesn't have deed restrictions on a property, wholesaling short sales the traditional way will be illegal in this case. If there aren't any deed restrictions on the property, then yes, that leaves the doors open for you to be able to go out there and do a double close on a wholesale transaction in order to be able to wholesale the short sale, which is one of the ways we're going to talk about in just a moment. So going back to this deed restriction situation, here's what the verbiage of a short sale deed restriction can look like. All right, it basically says the grantee herein is prohibited from conveying captioned property for a sales price for a period of 45 days from the initial date. After this said date is, let's say, 45 or 90-day period, the grantee is further prohibited from conveying the property for a sales price greater than 120% of the sales price until 90 days from the date of purchase. These restrictions shall run with the land and are not personal to the grantee. So what this basically is saying is if you purchase a property through a short sale, in essence, you cannot wholesale the short sale. You cannot assign or do a double close on that property right away. In fact, you have to wait a certain amount of time. It says you cannot sell the property for at least 45 days after the purchase. And then on top of that, when you do sell it, you can't sell it for 120% more than what you've actually purchased it for, which basically minimizes the amount of money that you can make on the property. So what they're doing is they're placing restrictions on you. Unless you've done a significant amount of work on that property, you cannot resell a short sale right away. So how do you get around it? Well, as I've mentioned before, first and foremost, if there aren't any deed restrictions on a property, you can do what's called a double close, which is what most investors have been doing on short sale transactions for years. What's called the A to B and B2C transactions. This is a double close. So you close the property, the seller being the A, you being the B, and your buyer being the C. Now, if there's a deed restriction on there that says you can't sell a property for 45 days, then that obviously kicks the double closing out of the window. So how can you get around that? Well, there's two different ways, and I've done a video on this type of wholesaling before. I'll link it up at the top. But two of those strategies that I talked about in that particular video was the land trust strategy, and I talked about the LLC strategy. So what you can do is change the title on the deed over to a land trust. And then you can assign the beneficiary rights in the trust over to your end buyer, okay? In addition to that, you can do what's called the LLC strategy. You can sign a contract under an LLC. Then instead of assigning your contract to your buyer, you simply sell your LLC to your buyer. Again, I've talked about this already in other videos. Again, I'll link it up. Make sure you check it out up at the top. A more viable way for you to be able to make money with underwater properties is to do what's called a long-term lease option. This is far better and way more legal than doing a short sale, and you don't have to worry about all the legalities and getting yourself into trouble and all of this paperwork and waiting 9 months to get paid on a short sale. Instead, you can get paid within a few weeks by simply controlling a property through a long-term lease option. Now, what do I mean by a long-term lease option? I mean a lease option that's going to allow you to build equity in a property. So that means you have to own that property, or control that property rather, for at least 10 years or more in order to be able to build equity in the property. I've done videos on how to do this. I'll link one of the videos up at the top where I made $94,000 on a $70,000 house. I could have gone the short sale route with this particular property, but I didn't, because to me, long-term lease options is far better than wholesaling short sales. So we've covered the topic of short sales, wholesaling short sales. I've shown you exactly how to do it, whether it's legal or not. We've talked about the deed restrictions, but in addition to that, I've given you the real solution to the issue. Long-term lease options. Focus your attention on that, and you won't have to look over your shoulder wondering if the feds is going to be knocking down your door. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought. If you do short sales right now, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. I've been doing this a long time. I don't think I'm wrong. But at the same time, I'm not always right. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.